Hi,
Hello, and
everyone.
good afternoon for
So
you.
grateful to be here.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, so happy to be here with you all. Welcome, everyone, to week 4 of Thrive in 5 with a twist. I just have everything pulled up here on my phone, too, so I just got to turn it down. Let's say hi to everybody, and then we're going to start. Hi, Kellyanne. Please say hi when you arrive, too, so that we can say hi to you and greet you
Hello.
when you are here. So grateful to be here with you. If you're wondering why my face is like extremely red, it's not showing up as red as what I thought, but I was literally just on the beach grooving like half hour ago, and I'm like, oh my god, Gabriel, I gotta go, I gotta shower, we gotta go.
Getting some sun. Getting some good sun.
Woo-wee, woo-wee. So welcome to week 4. This is our final week of Thrive in 5 with a twist. We decided to do something a little bit different than our traditional Thrive in 5s. Everything else was the same, except for we stretched this one out over a month to see how that would feel for all of you, because sometimes we hear from people that they're trying to get in all the content in the 4 or 5 days condensed.
Yeah.
And then we hear that a lot of people miss it or they can't catch it. And so also let us know, just feedback wise, if you've been catching the Thrive in 5s. Have you liked this format, or do you prefer the condensed, like 4 hours? Or let us know, maybe you prefer something that's a little bit shorter, that's like a power hour kind of Thrive in 5 occasionally, or something like that, because we're open to flowing however you guys like to flow too, right? And so we're here to serve, we're here to be of service, and we're here to talk about today all about the world of abundance and prosperity and flow and creating more flow today. So for those of you that are just getting to know me, my name is Tara Antler.
I'm Gabriel.
And we are the co-founders of Ascension Academy of Light, which is a global center that specializes in intuition development, abundance, manifestation, co-creation, inner healing and transformation, and our relationship healing and spiritual mastery. And within the Academy of Light, we have a couple different branches. Think of it like a tree. One is the personal development, which is where Thrive lives. We have our professional development, which is where our leadership community is, and all of our certifications. And we've been working with clients for more than 20 years. Gabriel and I both have worked with well over 10,000 clients one-to-one. We have facilitated now thousands and thousands of workshops online and in person. And it's always such a joy to be here with you, because one of our things that Creator, I was listening to something the other day, and the person says, this is how God made me, and I'm here to serve and be as I was created. And I believe that for Gabriel and I, how Creator has created us is to teach and serve and to show up and be very, very clear about healing and transformation, that inner work, and then the spiritual groundedness. And it's been a beautiful journey to be able to serve as many clients as we have. And so let us know in the comments if this is the first time that you're catching us. If you are a veteran, you've been around, you've been here with us for a little while, let us know in the comments. And I'm going to say hi to some more people, and then we're going to dive on in. Okay. Hi, KA. So great to see you. I've been thinking about you so much lately. We've been thinking about you too, dreaming even. Very interesting. I'll touch on that in a second. So happy to drop in here today. So much love to you both. Thank you. Hi, Diane. So grateful to have you here. It's so interesting that Kellyanne mentions that about dreams and being in the dreamlike state, and this happens, right? Like as healers, as spiritual mentors, coaches, however you want to describe us, as spiritual beings that we are, we're not limited to time and space. So if there's people, souls, I believe we are meant to connect with certain people. We are designed, you and I are designed to connect and intersect with certain people along our journey. We resonate. When people talk about, I resonate with this person, there's a resonance that comes from the soul that says you are meant to do work together. You are meant to dance together. You are meant to flow together. And maybe when we're not, or when we're in a pause, or when we're off doing our own thing, what can happen sometimes is we will show up in people's dreams. Okay. We've had this, clients say this all the time, that we will show up in their dreams because a message is still meant to get through, or energy or healing is meant to get through, or spiritual growth, development and ascension is meant to happen. And so we're not confined by time or space. And so I think it's really amazing when that happens, because it means we really are all interconnected. And there's something even more to this journey than this physical world of being like, and I'm in close proximity. That's so like, that's material, earthly conversation here. That's like such a human thing, close proximity. We know, if you have these conversations regularly with us, that we are so much more than our physical bodies. We should have wore our Go Energy t-shirts today. It's a go energy kind of day today. And so we know that we're energy, right? More than anything, we are energy. We are light and energy first before matter. So this isn't just about the close proximity, like we're sitting close to each other. This is about the energetic and spiritual proximity. This is about being in the space and knowing that we're all connected, and that we all get to be in this creative flow together, and we all get to enhance, expand, dream up bigger dreams. And when we do that together in spaces like this, it amplifies the energy more so than if we're doing it alone, right?
Yeah. I see that as a closeness versus proximity. And when you're close to somebody, like when you have good friends, for instance, you call them good friends because they probably share some of your values. They look at things from a perspective that's kind of similar to yours, not too far off, versus proximity being, you're close together physically, but you might not be resonating.
That's right.
And so closeness is what we're really looking at. And within this community and within what we're doing, because we share values, we share practices, we share these things, we come together and we're closer than you would be if we were physically close, right? So there is a closeness here that is very beneficial for anybody looking to make that forward motion, and we do value it. We definitely do value it.
100%. And Ricky's saying, yes, hello, beautiful people. I'm watching in on Substack. That's amazing. We love Substack. It's been so much fun being over there. And Maria's watching. Hi, Maria. Abundance, my love. Love you both. Thank you so much. And Maria's tuning in from Italy. So speaking of like distance, right? Like we're here in Mexico. You let us know in the comments where you guys are in the world. We are scattered across the field. And yet we get to come into this energetic space. This is the bulk of what we're going to talk about today, energy and abundance. We're in this energetic space together, and we get to amplify our energy together, regardless as to physical space. We have to start getting on board with these conversations now, or else we're going to find ourselves in the repeat loop patterns of we're just living to live, and we're just living to do our job, and we're just living to make some money, and we're just living to retire, and we're just living to do the things that whoever has told us that that's what we're supposed to do. And that's such a limited way to live. And I don't think very many of us want to keep repeating those cycles. I think that's why we're a big part of why we're here, right? Ontario, Canada in the house. And I also just dropped the link for those of you that want the workbook for today. We're going to jump into the workbook in a second. I did drop the workbook for you guys. There's a link in the comments. You'll see it there. Your light is always healing and present at all times. 100%, Maria, 100%. It always is, right? And this is where it taps into this field. So we've been going through the last 4 weeks, the acronym of 5. F was focus. I, week 2, was intention and intuition. Last week was V, which is vessel. Today, we're going into the E, which is energy. And that's why I was saying we should have worn our Go Energy. We have these awesome Go Energy t-shirts because one of our very first, I think it was our first Thrive in 5, we coined this term, Go Energy. And we're going to loop that into the conversation today as a reminder, because when we forget that we are pure energy and light first, that's when the world feels heavy. Let us know in the comments if any of you have ever felt that heaviness where you literally feel like you drop out of sync, you drop out of the light or out of energy, and you feel the heaviness or the weight of the world, as they say. And usually the weight of the world comes in when we're moving through some big things, when there's some ick and stick, as I like to call it, or there's a troublesome situation, or maybe we're going after a big dream or a big goal or a big vision, or maybe we're setting an intention for something really awesome, or maybe there's a breakdown that's happened. Maybe there's a major fluctuation or change. That's when you will feel, if you're not centered and present in the Go Energy, the energy part of you, you will then feel the thud, the thunk, and the clunk of the human body, of the human experience. And then all of a sudden we're like, now I'm in I'm in this human experience. And it can feel really dense, right? So today we're going to alleviate that as we come to the workbook. We're going to alleviate some of that energy. We're going to come into more flow, more love, and more abundance. And whatever that means for you. Okay. More flow, more love, more abundance. So let me do a little screen share with you so that you can see what we're looking at as well. And then we're going to dive in. Anything that you want to add to that, Gabriel? Or
I think we're on track.
Okay. Let's see. I think that should do it. There we are. And we'll bounce back and forth between this. All right. So as we flow into more flow, more love, more abundance.
You sure that's selected?
Uh-huh.
It usually gets a green box around it when it's
No, it's here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to tap into the infinite wellspring of abundance, light, energy, healing, time, resources. You could insert money in there, whatever that is for you. And I want you to take a moment as we get started today to set an intention for yourself in this moment. As on our screen, it says 11:11. So wherever you are in the world, it's a great time to set an intention. Just drop in for a moment, close your eyes if you can. If not, keep your eyes open and just soften your gaze and set an intention. What is it that if I could receive more of something, what would that be? Is it more time, resources, money, freedom, spaciousness, healing, love? What is it? Set an intention for yourself in this moment. In this moment, I open to receive more, and then you fill in the blank. Just feel that intention. As you're stating it, I receive more, and then whatever that is, feel it for a moment. Take a deep breath in and release. And so it is. Let us know in the comments what it is that you are focused on. What's the more energy that you want to tap into? And not more as in like more. Just stepping into this abundant. If we're truly in a field of abundance, we know that there's an infinite amount. It's not limited. There's no capacity in terms of like capping. There's no only this much is allocated to you and only this much is allocated to you and only this much. No, it doesn't work like that. We're talking about the infinite wellspring of everything that exists. So in the infinite wellspring of everything that exists, what is it that you are choosing for yourself? And let us know in the comments, okay? And I'll see what you guys write. I 100%, I was feeling it today. No wonder I'm here this afternoon. Go energy, right? 100%. Been clearing all day and connecting to high vibrations and my divinity. I'm so happy to hear that, KA. So aligned. Yes. Hi, Tara. Nice to see you. So grateful to have you all here. So while I wait for the comments to come in, because I think there's a little like sometimes there's like a time delay. A delay.
Yes.
We'll watch for the comments. It's okay to say, I want to tap into more of whatever that is for you. I won't fill in your blank. You fill in your blank. What do you want to tap into? And knowing that it's coming from an infinite wellspring. Maybe you can speak into that a little bit because you can't run out if you're tapping into infinite energy.
Yeah, I'd like to say that if everything is a state, right? And these states are always existent. For instance, joy. You can tap into joy anytime, right? By deciding to be joyful, by feeling into joy, by deliberately moving yourself into that space, right? Because you have more joy doesn't mean somebody else in the world has less joy and that you're taking away from a supply of joy that is running out, right? And it's the same thing for all of the states. So really and truly, if anything that you want to experience at any time is actually available to you and you having it, like we're talking about more, you having more of that doesn't mean someone else has to have less of that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something we want to get clear because the world shows us that example a lot, right? The world is quite dense sometimes, right? Yeah. But it shows you these examples of it. For you to have something, someone else must not have that something, right? Or for you to have something, there will now be less of that something available. But that's not the truth about what our experience really is as the beings we are, right? Because we can tap into the states, and by tapping into those states, as you already know, right, it provides results in the world that reflect the state that you're in. So you're never really lacking if you're thinking of things in terms of states. If you're thinking of things in terms of things, like the world shows, things, then you'll feel like there's lack possible. You'll feel like, oh, well, there's only so much oil, there's only so much this, there's only so much that. And then people go to war over that and get all crafty over that. But if you're thinking in things of terms of states, or in terms of states that provide the experience of that in your own world, right? Then you're always in abundance. Because in any moment you can step into whichever state you'd like to and fully be there. And have all of it, and everybody still has all of it. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. No, that's so good. And this is why even with the workbook this morning, like when we were creating the workbook this time, Creator kept saying, just stay open to the flow today. with what you're covering, because you're going to find yourself in a flow state with who's showing up. And I love that this conversation is happening. So Kay is saying freedom.
Yes.
So then what I would say is, whatever that is for you, more of whatever, what about freedom? Like freedom in the state, in the essence, and what does that feel like? And then what does that generate? What does that create? Right? It's like if somebody says more resources for what? We can have resources for building a house, resources for homeschooling, resources for health and well-being, resources for how it shows up as money, for example, right? So we want to start with the general: freedom, resources, abundance. And then as we have this conversation today, we want you to start to dial in and focus the energy a little bit more, okay? So that we get into, we're holding the state, but we're holding also the specificity, okay? State and specificity, okay? All right, so increasing abundance, increasing money, time, resources, healing is really about allowing, and there's a fill in the blank there for you, allowing infinite source energy. Infinite source energy, this is what we've been talking about, infinite source energy to flow through you. It's not outside of you, it's flowing through you. It's not being taken from you, it's flowing through you. It's not stealing it from someone else or sucking up energy from someone else. There's this woman, every time she hugs me, she goes like this. When she's talking to me, she goes like this. And I was like, what is happening right now? And I know she's feeling the energy in her body, but I can't help but feel sometimes that it's like an inhaling of my life force energy. And I'm like, if only people realize that everybody has their own life force energy that they could plug into. There's an infinite wellspring of it. There's infinite source energy available to everybody. You would then be plugging into your own energy through source, from source, moving it through you, right? So you want it to move through you in a way that you can utilize it. And then it materializes that energy, life force energy. It materializes. So it comes into the material world based on you, based on your focus. That's the last fill in the blank, based on your focus. So remember, we just said like the general state. Gabriel was talking about the state. And then there's coming in to something a little bit more focused, right? Once you start to focus that energy, it has a space to grow and go and move and create, and it starts to materialize based on your focus. All right. In the notes, there's space there then for you to tap into this for a moment, because we have to ask ourselves, how has our energy been feeling lately? I ask myself this question every day. How's my energy today? How am I feeling today? Gabriel will hear me say this. I'm like, woo! I'm like, last night was a doozy. The dreamland was crazy. And it can offset the energy. It can change your energy. Or other mornings you wake up like spring equinox and I was like, woo! The energy feels amazing. It felt freeing. It felt expansive. So give yourself a moment, tap in for yourself. There's space there for you to write. How has your energy state, like you're also talking about state, how has your energy state been lately? I'll be quiet for a moment so that you can write. Love those prompts for refinement, 100%. Safety in all areas of my life, Diane is saying. That's beautiful. See how there's specificity? So there's a state that I can feel when Diane says that, but then there's a specificity, safety, right? In all areas of my life. More direct flow and clarity of my own inner voice. So again, there's the specificity. It's so good. And then let us know in the comments, how has your state been? How's your state been? What's been going on in your energy? And then there's still space there for you to continue to write. So I would recommend for homework, soul work, check in with yourself regularly on that, because your energy determines everything, right? So going to the next page in your notes, tapping in is easy. So tapping back into energy and frequency and light, that's easy. That is the easiest thing we could do. There's so many ways that you can do that. You can go step out in the sunshine and like revitalized. You could go jump in a natural body of water, an ocean, a river, a stream, a waterfall, and you're like, I feel amazing. You could go sit under a tree. You feel amazing. You could do a really beautiful meditation, long or short, and you feel amazing. Someone could walk along, give you a big hug and hold you for a moment. You're just like, feel amazing, right? So tapping in, that's the easy part. Tapping into energy is the easy part, okay? So do you want to do that, fill in the blank? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you want to increase the currency, you must increase the current.
It's all about energy. Mm-hmm.
So it's about energy. And the currency this time is referring to, as Tara said, energy. And in this case, focused energy. You must increase the current. The current then would be the attention. Mm-hmm. Right? So if you want to increase vibrancy, joy, or any of those qualities that we're speaking about, it's about increasing your focus, your attention on whatever that state is. Mm-hmm. Right? Because as we say, if you have that state, you can't help but have it as well in your experience, right? You go from having to having, not having to not having, or not having to having, really. You must have it first, the currency, right? In order for you to experience it. That's how it goes, right? So some of us get caught up and we go a little sidetracked sometimes in trying to find the thing before establishing the thing within ourselves. And what tends to happen in that case is we might get a glimmer of it because we just break out of one minute belief that we may be experiencing. And so we have a slight glimmer of it, but the solidity and the stability of the state is not really there with us. So eventually it must leave us anyway. And this is why you have people that have like windfalls and things just come through quickly, but then they go right back to the state that they were in before, because that is the dominant state or the state that they're really vibrating in, right? Yeah. So the transformation we need, like we say, tapping in is easy. Transformation is in recognizing that the states are available and willing to let that current flow through us, right? Not to us or from us to something else, but through us, so that we recognize we're always in it. If you're always in it, if you're in an ocean of beautiful light surrounding you that's holding you up, there is no chance that you're not there. So you won't ever think of yourself or find yourself outside of it or questioning yourself in a way that's harmful, because you know that all around you is support. All around you is exactly what you want to be in. So this is the transformation that we must make. Just the recognition or the awareness that this energy is always present around us. Yeah, go ahead.
And the next bullet point is like, these are things that you can do. I mentioned a few already around tapping into energy. Some other things are strengthening your vessel. So strengthening your even your body, right? Yeah. So that could be working out, that could be walking, that could be eating well, that could be
breathing,
right?
Paying attention to your breath.
Taking care of your nervous system, letting life force energy to move through your vessel. That's the easiest way. And whatever that looks like for you, you get to choose that, right? One of the other ones is being open, flowing, and allow. So many people are in control states, control the outcome, control other people, control what happens next, control the calendar. Like, I get having a calendar. I have a calendar. And I allow for a lot of flow. It was kind of like creating this workbook. Every time we went to do it, there was something that interrupted or something that came in. And I was like, I'm just going to surrender to the flow, because whatever's got to be has got to be. And Creator kept saying, surrender to the flow. You're going to see. And that being open is the allowance. You're in a state of flow. You can't be closed off, constricted, and in control states and be in an allowance state. It's a contradiction, right? And I think a lot of times when the world gets heavy, or when there's a lot of fear, or when there's a lot of unknown things that are happening in the world, it creates a fear or a worry or anxiety or a mistrust, or something happens internally based on maybe the external. And then what happens usually is the ego wants to preserve and protect and constrict. So it's like, what can I control? What's in my power to control? I might not have say over the world. I might not have say over this. I might not have say over whatever the things are, but I can control this. And then it starts to create like a protective barrier, which closes down your flow and it closes down the allowance. And then what happens is, little by little, the very thing that you want, that state, freedom, abundance, health, vitality, safety, clarity, whatever you all are seeking and wanting and desiring, that starts to close down because control mechanisms now are riding and running the show, and the allowance space, it's turned down, like it's blocked, right? So anything else that you want to add to that?
Yeah, a good analogy would help in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you encapsulate the energy as you want it to be
Mm-hmm.
in one little bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And that little bubble is floating in an entire ocean of energy, just like itself, that potential that can run through, but it's encapsulated and that energy is frozen.
Yeah.
It's almost like a solid thing. Eventually, because it's being used and it's all that you have in that little drop, it'll feel like it's running out, right? And this is where people get desperate and turn to other people for what they want, etc., right? But if they were just to soften the edges of that and let go of the control, then they would realize that all around them, the energy is actually available, and they can be in that and be at ease while performing at high levels still, because it's not like your level dropped. You're still at the same level, but you now realize that there is infinite supply. Just that feeling of ease itself puts you in a whole different way of being, a way of experiencing life, a way of expressing. It's different completely.
Yeah, it is.
Right? So it's like a night and day difference. Just that little distinction that feels like nothing. Relying on yourself alone versus relying on all of everything that is. It's a difference. Yeah.
It reopens things.
Yeah.
Right? Like what Gabriel just described, what he was describing, and I hope you guys felt that. I felt the moment of just, like internally you can feel it. And sometimes it's just being in a specific frequency, a specific room, a specific practice, something somebody says, and all of a sudden you're like, you drop into it, and then you return to your flow again. You return to what's natural. It is natural to be in the flow. It is natural to be in what we call the divine overflow. It's natural to be in that state. It's just we jam it and confuse it and layer it and control it. And we do all sorts of crazy things, not from the spirit body, not from the soul, from the human. The human. And we're going to talk about that in a second, okay? So the last thing on there is daily energy practices. This, I will say this forever. Having some sort of daily energy practice is key. That is what is the very thing. And that could be a spiritual practice, prayer, meditation, qigong, yoga, movement, sun gazing. Like there are so many energy practices, you guys, doing energy work, Reiki, like all of those energy practices, I'll just group them all into one. That's the very thing that allows, I know for Gabriel and I, to show up at the speed that we do, at the groundedness that we do, in the clarity that we do. Even if the world and all sorts of crazy things are happening, we still will show up and not be burnt out, tired, exhausted looking, or afraid because of the energy practices. This is one thing that I've seen with all our clients that work with us continuously, is that they look revitalized. They look healthy. They look rejuvenated. They look younger. They just look happy. And that is because of the energy practices that they're bathing in, that they're being in, that they're surrounding themselves in. And it keeps the flow open. The current stays open, right? So abundance is actually easy. A lot of times people, when it comes to abundance, opportunities, same thing, abundance, opportunities, possibilities, they're easy and it's actually everywhere. It really is. When it comes to money and bigger dreams and visions, this is where the maintaining of it gets a little tricky. If we know that energy is everywhere, the infinite supply and flow is everywhere all the time, then what happens? What creates the breakdown? Why doesn't money flow sometimes? Why doesn't abundance show up in all its ways? Why doesn't clarity show up? Why isn't health present sometimes? Why is there conflict? Why are there wars? Why is there fighting? Why is there breakdown? Why do we not feel freedom? Why do we feel constricted or controlled? Why do we feel split and division? Why do we feel separation and comparison? Why do we feel the intensity of all the things? I believe, one, it's for our growth, but more than that, the reason why we feel it, yes, to grow again, yes, to get back and alive and again, But why we feel that is because on some level, we've separated ourselves, we've removed ourselves, we've unaligned ourselves from that divine flow again. Because if we were able to hold the state, like Gabriel was just talking about a moment ago, if we were actually able to hold the state the entire way through, I know for a fact that every single person on this planet, you would have every dream, everything you ever desired, everything that you ever want would be now. All at once, like that. Anything you want to add to that?
Oh, that's great.
So then what happens is we get out of the state. We're not in the state anymore. We go into fluctuation. Fluctuation energy, it happens, but it's the worst. That fluctuation energy is the worst because in the fluctuation, what we're doing, I was literally just saying this to, I think it was our Thrivers and Light Leaders the other day, last week was my teaching week. Yeah. I was saying this to them that in that fluctuation energy, what happens is we wobble. So the tricky part, if we're coming back to our notes for a second, I just want to show you where we are in the notes. So down at the bottom, maintaining is the tricky part. Okay. Why do so many struggle? Remind me to come back to the wavering, the wobble. Okay. Because I want to cover this first and then I'm going to come back to that. So why do so many, because a lot of people, right? They struggle sometimes. They struggle with money flowing, with health flowing in their life, with whatever it is, happiness, harmony, the clarity, the freedom, whatever it is that you are choosing, right? You see this a lot. People struggle with this. This is a conversation that happens, right? So what blocks the flow of energy? That's really the question. Why does this happen and what blocks the flow of energy? Past stories. That's number one. Past stories impact what happens to that state. You know that state that Gabriel was talking about just a moment ago, like maintaining the state? If we maintain the state, even if a past story or past memory came up, it wouldn't have an impact. It wouldn't even like create a wobble. But for most of us, it does. There's a wobble effect that starts to happen. So I want to stream this wobble conversation into this. I just wanted to show you guys where we were in terms of the notes. So let's say you're in your state, right? And we see this happen a lot. People come to Thrive in 5. Some people will be in Thrive, Evolution, or other things. And while they're there, and they might go through wobbles, there's wobbles in life. However, because there's a continual field, we call it like a Thrive field. It's actually a Thrive field now. And I think anything that's been in existence for a chunk of time creates its own vortex. So we have this Thrive vortex that exists, okay? And some refer to it as the Thrive bus, the Thrive train, the Thrive field, the Thrivers. It's like an energy, right? It's got its own energy. When we're in that energy bubble, even when we're facing certain things and you experience a wobble, a disturbance in the field, something upset comes, you're able to move through that much more easily and quickly than if you're doing it on your own. We've seen this so many times. Even when people have the tools or they know what we're going to say or they know the practices, do you know how many people don't do the thing that they know they need to do? It's like people working out. They're like, I need a workout buddy. Why? Because it's easier when you have somebody, you're like, we're going to go do the thing now. Okay. Like, let's go do the thing now. Than it being like, I know what I need to do. And then we don't do it. Right. That fluctuation creates the disturbance in the field, which is the wobble I was just talking about, which then we're no longer in a clear energetic state. We're in a wobble. And because of the way the universal field works, we're creating and manifesting all the time. You're now creating from the wobble, not from the state, not the clarity state that Gabriel was just talking about. Anything you want to add to that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one, same thing, the bullet point. So past stories could be stories that you hear, past stories that you see in the world. It could be your own inner past stories. It's kind of like going after a dream or a vision or something. And then you hear, yeah, remember the last time you set an intention that was really big like that and it didn't work out? It reminds you, your memory reminds you. And all of a sudden you're like, wobble. You're like, I'm not in the state anymore, right? The next one, consistency or inconsistency. Being consistent or inconsistent, that creates such a wobble. It's like, again, if I look at the working out, or people eating well, or people tending to their energetic hygiene, you do it once, great. But if you do it again and again and again and again, that consistency builds up over time and actually strengthens your auric field, your energy field. And then even if there is an external life wobble, you might feel it for a moment. It's like a little ripple. And then you're like, nah, I got this because my consistency is present. I am being consistent in what I'm thinking, consistency in how I'm showing up, consistency in who I am. Right?
Yeah. It presents a field that you could turn to in a sense, because let's say something was being questioned about you and you were consistently showing yourself who you were, you would be less likely to question yourself because the way you view yourself is powerful enough to counteract any external conversation about it, right? So you would be consistent enough to know that that wasn't really you, and it would not affect you in the same way and create that wobble within you, which happens to some people because if enough information is given to them, because gossip and stuff happens in the world, right? If enough people said things, you could start believing that maybe you really are that. But if example after example, you're demonstrating to yourself, this is what I'm choosing. I'm actually choosing to love. I'm choosing to care. And you were showing yourself that enough so that you knew that to be the truth about yourself. Then when someone was to say something, it wouldn't strike you exactly the same way because you would not believe it about yourself. And that there is where consistency plays a key role, because if you're consistently in an energy field of, let's say, love or joy or any of these places, regardless of what would seem to be a contrast to that, you would not then buy into the contrast and sell yourself short of the vibration that you already have. You would continue in that because you'd realize, okay, that's just what's happening here within this dense field right now that's taking place. And this happens with a lot of healers and people that are doing good work in the world, by the way. Things come up sometimes as question marks for them. That's the world's way of working things out and strengthening you at the same time. But when it comes up, if you are to buy into that, it's like you're sending yourself down a notch in the time of challenge instead of embracing what's true and taking yourself up a notch to solidify the state that you're actually choosing, right? So this is something that consistency is key for. For us, we have to be consistent. Yeah.
And that's why, like for us with Thrive, for example, or even doing Thrive in 5, this is we're coming into our 7th year of Thrive in 5 and Thrive Evolution. And even though there can be changes, it's still consistent, right? Us being willing to show up time after time through fluctuations. It's not that we have been immune to fluctuations. There are fluctuations in the world all the time. There's fluctuations in where we're living now. When we first started Thrive in 5 and Thrive Evolution, we were hunkered down in Northern Ontario while the world went through like an inside out moment. And we were the monks on the mountain. Now where we are is we're living in different countries at different times of the year. We have our 3 little ones. We're homeschooling full on. There's so many other moving parts. And yet our ability to say, you know what, this is important. This Thrive culture, this Thrive experience, this Thrive bubble is really, really valuable. We've watched how it's transformed thousands of lives now at this point, whether it's been in Thrive in 5 or Thrive Evolution. Thousands of people have been transformed by this work. Thousands of people remember our Thrive in 5 practices. People still send us pictures of their binders of all the Thrive in 5 notebooks. You know, like in the moments when I wobble or waver where I'm like, do we really need a workbook? You know, then I'm reminded I have this flash, or someone will send me, they're like, oh my God, I'm so excited to get the workbook. I have a binder of Thrive in 5 workbooks. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, of course we're going to do it, right? So sometimes it's like those reminders too, to be like, keep going. Keep doing the thing, keep showing up, even if there's a wobble, even if it looks different, even if it does, like whatever the stories are, past stories, whatever the world stories are, whatever feels inconsistent, show up and be consistent within yourself. Always. Okay. The next one under there is responsibility. And we put money with money, but you can insert anything: responsibility with money, responsibility with time, responsibility with your energy, responsibility with your resources, responsibility with your currency. You see what I'm saying? Responsibility with your health, your body, your vessel, responsibility with your relationships, whatever is top of mind, top of heart for you. You want to also carry a level of responsibility, like not responsibility in terms of like, oh my God, this feels so heavy and I'm literally carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being responsible. It's kind of like the difference between money comes in, right? And then I've had to work through this one myself. Money comes in and I'm like, there it goes out. Right? I've got all these amazing things that I want to invest in or all these things I want to do. And then it goes out. And then there's a level of lack of responsibility about what happens with that money and being able to honor it and maybe invest it or maybe have the money work for me or maybe see it from a different relationship perspective, right? It's the same thing with like your health. I would say most of my life, I've been actually very, very stable in that. It was only my university years, like year one, I was not so stable in that, where we were like just partying a little bit too much. So that level of responsibility for my body and my vessel was not there, but that's been pretty consistent. When it comes to relationships, like I would go through and look at every area of your life that's important to you and ask yourself, am I being responsible about my health, about my relationships, about whatever it is that is important to you? Anything you want to add to that?
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Inconsistent. The next one is inconsistent. This is, I think, one of the most important things. Why maintaining is tricky. Being inconsistent in holding the vision. So it could be holding money. It could be holding health. It could be holding love. It could be holding relationships. It could be holding clarity. It could be holding vision.
I do have something to say.
That's
here.
a tricky one.
And just to explain the holding idea, we're not talking about the ego's idea of
Holding to
locking it
constrain.
in,
No.
right, within a bubble that doesn't escape at all, right? We're talking about holding as in maintaining the frequency of it so that it is allowed to pass through you as currency, right?
Yeah.
Or like a circuit circulating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Circulation is happening continuously.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we mean by holding. Holding the frequency, being in the frequency
Mm-hmm.
so much that you know you're surrounded by it. It is you and you are it, and it's just one thing happening. And that's a different feeling to sort of trying to maintain this idea with your head and with your mind and locking it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a more heart-filled experience where you feel just like the heart is pumping, that the energy is pumping through you and interacting, but you're not necessarily thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
You're experiencing it, feeling it, being it.
Mm-hmm.
And in being it, it's less likely that anything can creep into that space, like I said here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're inconsistent with holding the energy or with having the energy, then the doubt around it
Yeah, the
is
last
less
one is
likely
doubt.
to creep
Mhm.
in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last fill in the blank is doubt.
Yeah.
Because doubt will creep in if you're holding a big vision. And so this is where the inner work is so important. It's so valuable. So we want you to let us know in the comments of this list, and there's probably more, but we're simplifying it down to these, five pieces. Let us know for yourself, and you can circle it, you can highlight it. Let us know in the comments too, which of these are the things that are coming up most for you in terms of maintaining the state, right? Because if we know the state is important to maintain, what's happening in the world for you? What's happening in your inner world that's creating that wobble? Because the wobble will create as well. Your consistent state creates and the wobble creates. So our job for Gabriel and I, as we're waiting to hear what you guys, like what's coming up for you or what's the strongest one that you need to work on, this is the work that we're doing with all of our clients, particularly I would say in Thrive and in Light Leadership, is helping our clients move through these wobble states. We see the fluctuations. We can see it coming. When clients are going through something, we see it coming. We can see the wobble, and then we do our best to nip it, catch it, help them clear through it as fast as humanly possible, spiritually possible, because then you get to keep moving. But imagine for a moment, right? If somebody's facing any one of these things, or there's others too, but like if we just simplify it to these that we gave you here, if someone doesn't have the capacity either to see it for themselves, well, then the wobble's there. They just don't see the wobble, and they can't understand. They don't get why things aren't working out for them. Okay. And if that's the case, then you definitely need someone in your corner. You need someone in your life that can actually see where the wobble is and lovingly be able to say, hey, this is the pattern that keeps showing up. Would you like to heal it? Would you like to clear it? And then you clear it and you're free. Now, some of you know what the wobble is. Hopefully you're contemplating what we just talked about here, and you can see where maybe your own wobble is. Where the wobble is, then the next question is, do you have the tools to move through that wobble? And some of you do, and some of you may not. Some of you have many tools and you don't know which tools to use. And again, this is why our job in working with clients, especially in Thrive Evolution, is to help you move through these wobble states. The wobbles come. We all go through it. Every client Gabriel and I have ever seen in 20 plus years have all gone through wobble times. You're not immune to the wobble, okay? The wobble comes, the wobble happens. But it's a matter of what are you doing? Who's in your corner? Who's in your support team to help you move through the wobble or see the wobble? And sometimes it's a bit of both. Sometimes we're just so used to being in our loop and in our patterns that we don't even see it. We just keep asking the question, I don't know why this keeps happening. I don't know why I keep looping. I can see the pattern repeating itself. I have no idea why. And this is where having people who are intuitively tuned in, seers, people who care and love can see it very quickly. And the more that we get to know our thrivers as well, we can see it like that. It's so fast. And then it's a quick shift. And once that quick shift happens, they're off to the races again. Their energy gets clear. They're able to hold the state again. They're able to recalibrate again. They're back in their bubble, their energetic bubble, and away they go with their vision, and away they go with receiving again because they're back in the state. And then they can get specific again, and then they start receiving, and then all the things start to show up. But what happens in the world a lot of times is people will get so specific, okay? They'll get so specific on this is what I want. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. There's fluctuation. If there's fluctuation, it's because there's fluctuation in you. There's a wobble somewhere. So the specificity can be there, but then the state isn't there. And then you're not going to get the match. Some people have the state, but they don't have the specificity. That also is interesting because you can manifest, I am peaceful. I am harmonious. I am sitting in a state of joy. I am in a field of everlasting love. Great. And they can feel it. But then when they look in their world and they're like, I don't have that partner yet, or I don't have health, or I don't have money, or I don't have the opportunities, or I don't have the abundance, or they're missing the material. They're in the state, but they didn't get specific on what they wanted. So we actually need both. You need the state and you need the specificity. And once you put those two together and then you're able to hold the state and stay clear and specific, that's where the magic starts to happen. Okay, so let me see what you guys are writing. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here. Just thought of current flowing through a light bulb. If you disconnect or have a loose connection, the light dims or goes out, the wobble. Love this work with you guys. Thank you so much. That's exactly what it is, Lisa. It's exactly that. That analogy that Lisa just brought forward is the light bulb, 100%. The light bulb, when it's plugged in, it's like you're charging. You're like, yes, the light's on. And when there's a wobble, the light fluctuates. We take the light bulb out altogether. Well, now we got a problem, right? Hi, Carlin. Nice to have you here. Carlin saying overwhelm creates a wobble for me. So overwhelm. So if we look at the overwhelm, then we need to look at maybe simplifying, or we need to look at clearing, moving the states of overwhelm so that the overwhelmed state, because that can be a state, that I can feel it in my heart as I'm tuning in. We've known Carlin many, many years. So when I'm feeling into her, I feel it in my heart. So there might be something there connected in the heart field, in the heart energy connected to this state or feeling of overwhelm. Because if we stay in overwhelm too long, overwhelm becomes the state, which creates the wobble, which then creates whatever the outcome is, right? It's so good. Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, overwhelm in particular too is that feeling of having, as Tara was saying earlier, the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's a lot to carry at once. That's what overwhelm is like. It's like a whole bunch of stuff coming down at you at once. But when we recognize that responsibility is not only ours in our little bubble, but the responsibility of the whole, it's like all of that is spread over a huge surface area. It's not on one point pressing down anymore, if you want to think about it mathematically. So if it's spread out over that whole area, it's less pressure that we perceive because we have the whole of us taking care of it. We have avenues that we don't even know of at work on the situation. So then our mind is not feeling overwhelmed anymore. We're feeling, oh, it's a lot to handle, but we can handle it. We've got it. We start thinking of ourselves as a we, right? Which is funny. And when we think of it that way, the stress is less. Our state comes back to that floaty state, and then it's taken care of.
100%. No, it's so good. So keep reflecting on that for yourself. And then I would look at Like what is it that's coming up? And then do you have the correct support systems to help you move through that? Okay, so we have the Thrive in 5 practice that one of us is gonna go through.
Yes.
We'll tune in, start to energetically while I say this next piece as to what kind of Thrive in 5 practice we want to do today.
Yes.
Around abundance or the state or the flow.
Yes.
So while he's doing that, I just want to share a little bit about the opportunity to come into Thrive. So Thrive Evolution, like I've mentioned, has been a part of our world coming up to 7 years. And it is such a beautiful space. Like, talk about a state and a space to be in. It is loving, it is kind, it is compassionate, it is powerful, it is radiant, it is transformative. And we have seen over the last 6 years now, so many different people, walks of life, different stages, phases of their journey come into Thrive. And wherever they are, it's like the field meets them where they are, and then we all go up. And this is what I was saying about Thrive Evolution literally creating its own state. It's got its own vortex now, which is so amazing. And that's what happens over time. Consistently showing up over time, you create a field, a vortex of that energy. And I feel like for us now, it's becoming a movement. It's like a movement of this Thrive energy for you to thrive in every area of your life. Thrive financially, thrive in health, thrive in your relationships, thrive in your state, thrive in the money department, thrive in your manifestations, thrive spiritually, thrive in your intuition, thrive in your connection to your higher self. This is what happens in Thrive. Like, I'm not over embellishing. I'm having a deja vu moment right now. Wow, I love it. That exact like configuration of what just happened. The Gabriel's phone ringing and what I was saying. So we're all in alignment. So deja vu is really cool, because when you have a deja vu moment, it means that you and I, like everybody a part of this deja vu, we're all in the right place at the right time. We're in alignment. So that's super, super cool. Thank you. So Thrive, it really is. It's this space and place where people get to drop in wherever they're at, whatever you're moving through. We are going to heal. We are going to transform. We are going to alchemize. We're going to move all of that old dense energy out of your framework, out of your field. You're going to heal the past stories. You're going to heal whatever is coming up, whatever those wobbles are. We're going to be addressing the wobbles, especially as we get ready to go into this next season. For the next 3 months, there's going to be a new vibration that we're going to go into. And it's going to have a lot to do with, I feel right now, just with dropping in, is this whole Thrive state. Like, how do we keep you and have you continue to be in a Thrive state? And then that Thrive state becomes, let's say, a freedom state, an abundance state, a calm state, healthy state, opportunities state. That's the key to creating and manifesting, you guys. Like, I think about some of the things that our clients over time, I have a flash of like 50 different people in my mind right now of all different visions. And this is one thing that we love to do when somebody comes into Thrive. We like to find out, what are you working on? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What are the things that you're projecting? And then how close are you to that, and what needs to shift? And as we work with you and what needs to shift, you start to maintain that Thrive state. You carry that Thrive energy, and whatever that looks like to you personally, and then you hold it. You get to master that state. And it's so powerful when you do, because in that state is where you can get specific and dialed in. So then you're like, I really want, or I am choosing, right? It's like a telescope or something, and zoning in. You get so specific, and you're already in that state. You will manifest, you will create the very thing that you want. And it's not going to be hard. It's not going to be arduous. It's not going to be painstaking. It's not going to be jump through 1,001 loops and hoops. You are literally going to hold the state, hold the frequency. Maybe that's part of what I'm feeling, because the last one was like heal the one, heal all. And then it shifted right a little bit where we were like, heal the mind, heal all, heal the heart, heal all, heal the past, heal all. And this next one that we're going into is really going to be about holding, maintaining the field, maintaining the state, maintaining the frequency. Because again, it's like we've seen this so many times. People have such clear vision. When they get the clear vision, they have such clear vision. And then a wobble comes and they freak out. And then the past comes in and the stories come in and the repeat patterns come in. And then our job is to clean that out. It's like raking it, right? You're cleaning it all out. Come back to who you are. Calm the system. Calm your nervous system. Come back to safety. Come back to center. Come back to presence. Hold it. Feel it. and then shoot, let's get specific again. And this is where I believe the consistency in that practice, Gabriel, and for all of you, I really feel like that's what's being shown to me right now, real time, that we're going to move into. So if this speaks to you, if this lands with you and you're like, yes, this is speaking to my soul, this is speaking to what I need, this is speaking to what I know is possible, especially if you're like, I want to create a life that feels so beautiful and abundant and alive and refreshing and awesome. And even if you have specific or general, this is what we're going to be doing, especially over the next couple months in Thrive Evolution. So we have a really beautiful opportunity for you to come in to Thrive monthly, and it's $555 a month. You can come in for 1 month and be like, okay, that's it, good. Or if you love it, and you're like, I want to be in the field, I want to stay in the Thrive field, I want to continue, then you just continue monthly. If you know already that you're like, I just love this work so much and I want to like fully be consistent, I want the consistency in my decision, I want the consistency in knowing that it's like, this is where I'm going to be every Tuesday evening, this is where I'm going to be a Q&A on Thursdays, I want the consistency and I just know that about myself and my life, then you can come into Thrive Evolution for the year. And it's $5,550. So you're saving, I think it's just over $1,000 if you come in for the entire year. And that, like, to me, that's such a beautiful, worthy investment in yourself and your time and your energy and who you are. And to let everybody know too, the configuration of Thrive includes the classes on Tuesdays, the Q&A, and creation circles. So every month we have this really beautiful creation circle where you get to focus your energy, your time, your attention on your creations and manifestations. If you want to include one-on-ones, you can add in packages for one-on-ones. Some of you I know love one-on-ones. You can always include a package of 4, 6, or 12 sessions one-to-one. And then you would be able to choose your sessions with myself, Gabriel, or Alexandra, and we're here for you. So if you love the one-to-ones, you can always include and bump up, add to your purchase, your cart, the one-to-one packages. There's some really great bonuses that are available. I'll get the links for you guys and post them. If you are curious and you want more information though, and you want me to just send the link directly to you, just type the word Thrive and I will send you the link directly. Some of you are getting ready for renewals, or you're in that phase of, getting ready to make a next decision. This is a really great time to come back into Thrive, or to be in Thrive and continue that energy and continue your consistency, because these next 3 months will be exactly this, like holding the state. Because we're seeing it so much right now, you guys. There is so much wobble happening in the field. There's wobble in the world. There's wobble in ourselves, our consciousness. And I don't want anybody to go through any more suffering or wobbling, because it hurts my heart when I see people with such a clear life path in mind or vision in mind, but they're being swayed and influences and impacted by the wobble. It doesn't have to be that way. It does not. There's a way to have the consistency, but you have to choose your own consistency. You have to choose to show up in what's good for you. So if this aligns with you, type the word Thrive. I'll send you directly the link. There's some amazing bonuses. If you choose to come in today, so the replays, and then Gabriel's going to do the Thrive in 5 practice with you. The replays will be up for the next 6 days, and then it's all going to go down and it's going to go up into a different portal. And so just know that you have access to the replays. If you choose to come into Thrive today, either Thrive monthly or Thrive for the year, if you come in today, we're going to gift you a 20-minute one-to-one session where we can power focus. If you come in for the year, we want to gift you a session with Gabriel and a session with me that you can use throughout the year. And again, those are super focused, dialed in. Gabriel and I can move energy really, really fast. It used to take like 90 minutes. Now it's like 10 to 15 minutes where you're moving energy very, very, very quickly. Okay. So just type the word Thrive. We'll send you the link. If you come in today, we're going to honor those gifts for you. And then after the 6 days, because I got to go jump and get on another call here in a moment. After the 6 days, the bonuses that are available that you see on the website, they will evaporate. And you guys have known us long enough now. We've been doing this for like 6-7 years. The bonuses change every single time. So if you love the bonuses that you see on the site, and you love the bonuses that I just mentioned, and you love the energy that we're going into, this is a great time to come into Thrive Monthly or Thrive Evolution, okay? So I got to go jump and get on this other call. I'm going to take my phone and go do that. And enjoy your Thrive in 5 practice with Gabriel. Love you too. So grateful to have you here today. And yes, I'll leave you to it, okay? You just have to hit end live whenever you're done.
Okay. So, right where you are, begin to relax the body. And what I mean by that is, firstly, feel the pulsing in the body, the movement in the body. If there's anywhere that's tense or tight, feel into it and act as if you're going into it. You're not trying to get rid of it, but you're trying to feel your way into where there is tension or into where there is tightness. Just begin to feel your way into there. And as you feel your way into it, you'll feel it loosening, making space. You feel that spongy feeling, like a sponge that's picking up water, moving, relaxing. Good. Now relax the whole body just like that. Relax the whole body like a sponge that's been saturated. It may feel a bit heavier, but it'll also feel more relaxed. You'll feel less tension. And now from the toes to the head, relax the entire body in that way. The toes, the bases of the feet, tops of the feet and ankles, shins and calves, the knees and the soft area behind them, the hamstrings, the quads, the groins, pelvis and glutes, the lower back open, relaxed, the tummy, the middle back, the upper back and scapular region. And let the chest open. And as the chest opens, the shoulders sink a bit. The spine straightens just a bit. Triceps, biceps, elbows, and forearms relax. The wrists, palms, fingers, thumbs relax. And the arms are hanging there like two logs, pulling on the collarbones as they relax. The neck is relaxed and floating on the spine. The jaws, the cheeks, the facial mask, nostrils, nose, nasal cavity, sinuses, ears, forehead. The forehead is tranquil, serene, clear, relaxed. The scalp is relaxed. The brain itself is sponge-like, receptive, and relaxed. With a command to the entire body as a whole, relax. In this relaxed state, begin to feel the energy that exists right now within you. There is movement within you. There is life within you. There are pulsations happening. There is energy moving. There are swirls happening. Feel that energy within that body. And now attempt to extend a bit further than the limits of the body. Feel the temperature around you in the room that you're in, or if there is wind blowing on you or anything, just feel your surroundings. Feel your immediate surroundings. You might be aware of certain objects in the room that you feel. You can feel their presence. Just feel around you, realizing you're not limited to the body. Now feel the energy coming from above you and beneath you, from the earth towards you, from what we call the heavens towards you, and also the energy within you that is extending outward to meet that energy and mixing. Feel that mixing happening, and from above the crown area, feel it swirling down through the center of the body, through the heart, and straight down towards the toes. Feel that vortex of energy flowing from the top, straight through the center, all the way down through the feet. Feel that swirl happening and realize you're connected to something large and wonderful. You're in an ocean of energy that is connected. Everything is interconnected. You're an integral part and a full expression of this energy. Feel that. Feel your connection, feel your awareness of this energy being presented to you as this vortex through your entire body and through the entire field that is here and now. Feel that now. And in the awareness of that connection to this vortex of energy, realize that those around you, those that are close to you,
are in this ocean as well and are connected to this field as well. They may not necessarily be aware of the connection, but that is okay. It doesn't stop them from being within this field and within this connection. So feel it. Feel the connection. Feel the connection to that space within them, the center, the heart, and realize that we're all connected to this space simultaneously. It's one beat of energy, one pulse of beautiful energy swirling on itself, swirling in itself and through itself, and we swirl within it. Feel that swirl and realize that you have access to all that is in this instant. Because even though you're swirling individually, you're part of a collective that is also swirling, that makes up a larger field of energy. And you're directly plugged in, directly expressing the abundance that is within it, and expressing your individual will through it. So begin to feel that and realize how much you actually have and are. It can feel like you're just a unit, but you're connected to something much larger, something that's powering the entire field all at once, something that is the source of that heartbeat, the source of that energy, the source of your existence. Feel yourself existing in all of the swirls that are going on. Feel yourself existing on that level. Realize that you're not alone. Realize that you've never been alone. Realize that you can't be alone. You've always been connected. Your presence is within a field, and you're always connected. Always connected. Your presence matters. Your energy matters. You matter. Begin to become increasingly aware of the fields that are around you, the people or life that is around you. Life, consciousness, expression. Doesn't have to be animate, the inanimate as well, but present as a background. All a part of the same energy expressing. Feel that connection to all resources that you need. Yes, that you need within the experience. Come towards you in swirls, come towards you also in vortices. They find their way into your field to be expressed, if you choose that they be expressed. So feel that now and realize it's not only you and your limited space that you see that is generating this, but the entire field around you in which all of this is swirling, that is making its way towards you to be expressed through you as your life experience. And feel that inpouring of all the resources, all the things that you need, and all the things that those in your particular view of life need to express the highest form of abundance. Total reliance on the larger self, total reliance on your source, total expression of your source. Feel that. There is no limit. Now begin to rest in this. Begin to allow the body to become even more relaxed. Resting. Receiving directly into that heart space through the vortex and bringing it down into the earth experience, bringing it down for you to know that you have received. You know that you have received because you feel it. You know that you have received because you experience it. Feel it. Whatever it is, whether it be a new view of yourself, a new experience of yourself, a new experience of life, abundance, joy, peace, even the physical things that accompany you on your journey, that let you reinforce the idea that you already have within you. See it all, feel it all now. Allow it to pass through that heart space. And as it passes through, feel it extending from you towards all around you, towards all the other vortices around you. Everybody is aware of it. All around you are aware of the fact you brought it into the world of facts, the fact that you have it, that you are it. Feel that fact being communicated to the whole right now. You have, you are it. You're expressing it, so you are it. Feel it and allow it to continue to spread. And in a moment of silence, I'm going to be silent for a bit here. In a moment of silence, allow yourself to really feel that. Let the images cross your mind. Let the energy cross your heart, the feeling of having. Let the abundance within you start to resonate within that chamber of the heart and through the entire body and the entire field. And feel it extending from you to all that you communicate with, to all that you see, feel, and experience. And begin to feel that gratitude welling up within you, the gratitude for having the thank you feeling, the feeling of something that has come and saying thank you for it, that gratitude, that yes, thank you, I have received and so I'm grateful. Feel that gratitude coming up, that feeling of acceptance, that feeling of receiving in gratitude. Feel it. Thank you. Thank you. You might feel it swirling, you might feel the pulsing, you might feel the movement. That is perfectly fine. Continue to feel it. Let it work its way through you. Now take a breath to really seal it into that heart space. Feel yourself experiencing it now in the heart. Filled with the beautiful energy of having. Filled with the overflowing energy of the resources, all needs, all states that are required to be expressed, coming through and into you and spreading from you through the entire field for all to benefit. Feel that direct connection. Take another deep breath, feel it in, moving through the entire body, through the bones, through the pores, through the field, through the energetic field. Feel it moving, feel it strengthening you in this instant. Feel the strength of having, the vitality. Feel it, feel it. Take another deep breath and feel it move into the field surrounding you and into the environment around you, being broadcast as a signal from you through the heart, through the brain, through the cells. You're singing a song, you're singing a vibration right now of having, of plenitude, of abundance. Feel that abundance within you. Feel it in the pit of your stomach, feel it in your heart. Feel the having feeling. Feel the natural energy moving from you through the entire body and beyond the body, being broadcast now. Feel it, feel it. And realize that as you come forward from this, you are going to walk in this energy, knowing that you have and are it. You are transformed. The vortex is running. The feeling is running through you and expressing from you to everyone. It is a new way of being, a new way of living, a new way of experiencing life, and a new way of expressing. Feel that expression from you to all in this instance and all that follow. And when you're good and ready, just begin to feel into those fingers and toes, the brand new fingers and toes, supercharged with this energy, knowing where you're plugged into, knowing that it is a we, a grand we. You are intact and you are plugged into something wonderful, something grand. There won't be any overwhelm because you feel that power distributed as it needs to be and circulating within and through you always. There is no lack, there is no limitation. There is only having, there's only abundance, there's only richness. Feel that wealth, that divine wealth within you, that feeling of having, knowing that you always have. and gently begin to make your way forward. When you're good and ready, feel the temperature of the room once again. And when you're really ready, you can pop those eyes open into the palms of the hands or pop right open and join us once again. And I just want to say a few words. If you have felt this and you know this to be your truth, and you know that you're connected, and you want to continue the journey, check us in Thrive, right? Take that step. Type the word Thrive. We'll be able to connect you. And if Thrive is not the exact fit for you, continue the conversation, connect to me or Tara, and we could find a perfect place for you to work with us and to continue to do what you know you're up to. Otherwise, it's been grand. We've had a grand time in Thrive in 5, and we did it over the 4 weeks, as we said. So if you missed those few weeks before, you can always go back and see the links. It's still in the group, and you can review that. If you feel that urge within you to contact us and to continue moving, do so, right? It'll be a great experience, and we'll be able to continue to cultivate this idea, cultivate this strength, cultivate this energy to continue to have and to experience having, right? It's been grand, and we look forward to connecting with you. Those who are in Thrive, we will see you this week. And those who are thinking about it or in that space of feeling it, connect with us, okay? We'll have a beautiful one together and look forward to seeing you soon. Ciao.